Greetings folks, lately I came to the realization that I don't have a proper dual-wield melee build that is either not ranged or low life or based on dashes. So it's time to fix that by introducing you to the biggest mistake questline lead game designer did since Titanium Tonic, the Undertow vest. Because this little monster will allow you to reach absolutely insane amount of critical damage with over 9000 critical and sneak damage. It reminds me of the good old days. Me and my fellow boomers that grew in 1950s, we had it so good. We would go to school and come back to boot up our TV and see Goku beat the living crap out of Vegeta. And maybe you knew that small kid that started to scream until his face turned red just to see if he could turn his hair blonde and go Super Saiyan. And maybe that guy had to move town, since every guy in high school kept bringing that up every time he spoke to a girl. Nearly 10 years after that happened. But anyway, in this build I will go through the gear, how this build works, leveling, what can you use before you can switch to Undertow setup, the attributes, the perk tree, and all the stuff that you need to know. Just a word of warning. This build has insane damage scaling when you use it properly. So if you already feel that the game is too easy for you, then you will be disappointed. I'm sorry, nothing I can do about that. Let's begin. Okay, let's look at our gear. This is my final setup. I will have a dedicated leveling section that will help you transition to this setup from the start of the game to Sanctuary of Sarras. Mandatory piece of gear is gonna be Loom Vest. Without this chest, nothing here works, nothing here makes sense. Afterwards, you have a choice between two weapons in the sneak damage setup. The first is gonna be Shadow Blade. It's from Act 1. It will help you multiplying that sneak damage before the conversion to critical damage happens. In game you can find one in Act 1, all the locations are gonna be in the video, don't worry. You can easily get more by gambling items. However, if you really don't want to get a second Shadow Blade, or if you just want to play with daggers, Wolf Fang from Act 1 can be used in both slots. It will only have a little less conversion, but it will be daggers. And in the end, if you want to invest more gold in the build, you will reach the same end point anyway. Before this, if you want to level up as a dual wield, my big advice is to use Spear of the Ancient Hero, because this weapon, it's one of the strongest Act 1 weapon when used in dual wield. Amazing damage, insane amount of bleed you can stack up, and if you slot in a Crimson Shard relic from Act 1, then the bleed stacks will go super high. And in that case you can pair it with Duelist Blade once you get it, or whenever you want. I will talk about this in the leveling section. For helmet and boots, we're gonna use Blood Socket crafted from Act 1. For boots, however, you have other options. If your crit is low and you are in Act 3, you can go with Crystal Walker. This one will give you 33 crit, only downside is the movement speed, but it's very useful when you're low on crit. In alternative, Crow's boots will give you less crit, but no downside for speed. For gloves, we're gonna use Crow. In alternative to Crow, or before you get Crow, you can use Assassin. For chest, there is not gonna be any replacement. If you don't want to play with this chest, check the playlist linked in the description. I have so many builds now, sometimes I forget the one that I made. For pants, we're gonna use Ashen Veil. Ashen Veil is a reward from finishing Act 3. You do a crypt quest that I don't want to spoiler. Location is here, and then you get this when you finish the quest. For rings, we're gonna use Swordsman Amulet. Now, of course, in base game you can only get one. So, before that you can use Perlious Orbs from Act 1 to get some extra crit. However, once you're capped on crit, you can use whatever you want. During the leveling section, I used one Blood Ring and one Stamina Ring. Now, before you get Ashen Veil Greaves, which I almost forgot, you can use Fledglings, part of the Children of Morrigan questline, same as the Crow items. For Amulet, we're gonna use Amulet of the Fearful Man. This amulet has two things that I like. One, if you like to sneak around, it will make movement speed much faster, and then it will give you a lot of sneak damage. For back item, we're gonna use Burrower. This is also crafted. Initially Dual Knight Cape or Ashen Veil Cloak. However, I will still advise you to craft Burrower for the same reason of all the rest of the items. Now let's look at our attributes. Now, these are my final stats. As you can see, we have 10,000 sneak damage and 10,000 critical damage. This can go way higher if you want to invest more gold in the build. However, this is not gonna be necessary, but if you want to one-shot the Stalker at night, go ahead. How you have fun, it's your own business. Now, the stats here, the minimum requirement on this build are a bit weird because they will depend on the item that you choose more than ever. So what I did in the leveling section is that I went for 10 strength, 10 endurance, 9 dexterity because otherwise you cannot use duelist blade, 3 practicality are for the crow item, and then it's a perception dump. You can even go with less endurance if you want. In the base game I was at some point 15 in Act 3. Okay, let's start. If you're starting to level up, as I suggested, because you can level up these in different way, you can even play as a two-handed and then switch to dual wielding in Act 2 if you want. I would advise 2 strength, 2 dexterity. This is the requirement to use the Spear of an Ancient Hero. Afterwards, we get to 6 strength and 6 endurance. So we can now use more items from the duelist set. However, weight is gonna be a little annoying on dual wield setup. So I would still advise you to try to not get too overloaded, otherwise your mobility goes down so fast. 10 strength, 10 endurance, 9 dexterity, 4 perception. And if you're using pieces of the Children of Morrigan set, Crow or whatever, then you will need to slot 3 points in practicality, not more than 3, at least until you can equip all your stuff. 10 in perception, 15 endurance, we don't need to go that high in strength anyway. And then massive, massive, massive perception because you want to be able to have 100% critical chance or at least 80 because we are a critical damage build, so we need to crit. There is no way around this. Now let's look at the skill tree. Okay, we are gonna start in practicality if you're using Spear of Ancient Hero, otherwise we don't start here. 3 points in Exploitation Affliction. Why not more pasta? This is not a bleed build. You could technically fully invest in potent poisons and even stacking peril if you want to use burning relics in your weapon to level up through Act 1 and 2 or maybe even Act 3, you can do that. Then we stay in practicality, 1 point in Born in Armor, 1 point in Strength. Then we go in Strength, we max Godly Physique, Weapon of the Great Theft. We go back in practicality, 1 point in Armor Skin, 1 point in Best Offense, max Agile Fighter, Unending Assault maxed, Ambidextrous. If you're planning to level up as a 1 dagger and 1 sword, then you go adaptive. If you're planning to use 2 swords, 2 daggers, you go symmetrical. Powerful Blows, Executioner. Now we go in Perception, max Extra Lucky Critical Cascade. As soon as you lock Plague Warden, I unlocked Plague Warden fast on this build because with Bleed we can literally shred the bosses that are not immune. We just go there, dash in, dash out, don't get it. Plague Warden is one of the biggest damage mitigation in this game. It will keep you alive, otherwise you will be dead. If you're feeling that the game is too easy, don't take Plague Warden. Simple. Then we still go back in Strength, 3 points in Unstoppable Momentum. Then in Perception, 2 points in Respiting Cruelty, 2 points in Deep Wounds, 2 points in Critical Aegis, Bloodthirst. Then go for the Eyes, Swift and Fierce. If you are using daggers, 1 point in Dagger Prophecy, max Swiftness and max Predator Fangs. Then we go in Stealth. As soon as you start to convert to Silent Hunter, Assassin Doctrine, Wolf Among, 3 points in Increased Vitality. If you want to put 5 points in Mercantile Skill, then we go Red Death. We're gonna shop the usual points here. But Pasta, why do you take Red Death on any build? Well, it's free damage. It's really not specific to any setup, really. Then we're gonna go for Quickened Strikes. Then we're gonna go for 1 point in Healthy Appetite, Rejuvenation, Old Mother, and Unnatural Resilience. Max Born in Armor, max the Best Offensive. Then you take Strikes of Luck if you're not capped yet with your crit. Invigorating Dance, Frequent Exercise, Gaining Momentum, and then Exploit Weakness. The rest of the points are really up to you. Now let's look at the Sarras tree. We have 7 points. You don't need 7 points, and more importantly, you can go higher than 7 points. To me, this doesn't matter. You have 2 options here. Usually I will tell you to just play one. For this build, however, depending on your playstyle, you have 2 options. For Warrior, which I used in the final setup, Strength in Numbers, Menace of the Weary, and then Heaviest of Attack. Desire for Speed, Useful Overlord, Kickstart, and then Vicious Gamble. In alternative, because don't forget that you can easily switch between both and the points are separate, you can play as a rogue. Now, rogues will offer different benefits. It's especially useful when you're lower level, because you're still not one-shotting stuff, so you can apply a lot of frailty. So, Frailty Broker, Frailty Expert, Dependable Luck, Death from Nowhere, Rising Exhaustion, Wrecking Ball, and then Instinct of a Killer. Okay, you can choose to play or skip the tutorial. There is no item that we really need from there. However, the choice is up to you. If you are curious about what life path will be best for this, pick any that you want. Usually I go on a healer or most build, unless they use a shield. In that case, I will go with infantry. Then we follow the shore and we get our lance, which is gonna be our big upgrade. Make sure that you have immediately 2 strength and 2 dexterity to be able to use it. The offhand that you choose don't matter. Just pick one that you can use from one of the bandits that you kill around. Get that stamina ring. You will not use it too much, but it's still useful for now. Even though you're playing as a warrior, do all the druid shrines. There are 7 for each zone, so 21 in total. They will give you some XP, permanent bonuses, and some items that you can sell. Following the path from the ruined market to the right, you will be able to find our favorite knight. You can even kite him on the rocks. As long as he's close enough, you will not try to use bow or magic. Of course, this is optional and you can even do this when you are higher level. Another important part is don't forget to get the blood ring. This is quite useful. This leveling section will contain some spoilers a little later on. Mainly, I will show you a couple of bosses, because those fights can be a little difficult on a mini build. Meanwhile, mage and archer dubs on them very easily. So if you're not interested, I will tell you when it's time to stop watching the leveling section, don't worry. Before you finish Act 1, don't forget to get the Wolf Shrine for some extra sneak damage. Claws are a bit annoying to drop, just kill a bunch of wolves around the map and you'll be fine. When you go in the crypt for the first time, get that book. It will give you 1 free permanent perception point. When you go to the El Mother Temple, to go to the merchant, and you want to do 2 things. 1, if you have enough money, buy the free attribute point from Ugue. And then, more importantly, the relic you want to slot in your lance, because that will help you doing damage. Now it's time to challenge one of the mini bosses. Is really not story related. The issue with Abigor is that he will retaliate every time you attack him directly, so you will damage yourself, so you need to be careful to not kill yourself, so make sure to have enough food. Also, he has a 3 pattern attack. He will throw dagger and he will try to charge at you with a shield charge. If it downs you and you're playing in veteran, the dagger will one-shot you. Even at level 20, unless you have enough points in endurance, you will die. Once you kill him, you will get a bunch of goodies. However, before you equip everything, make sure that you are not super heavy, because this build wants to stay light. Okay, before you go ahead, spoilers, the main boss of Act 1. So, this is your time. If you don't want to see it, then skip. Use the timestamp, go to the next section. Now, the thing about Mr. Galahad is that he has one of the most annoying patterns of a boss in this game, which is good because otherwise the game would be too easy, but regardless. The dangerous things about him is not the magical slashes, it's the push. If you get caught in the push, then you get downed and then he kills you. So, you need to be very careful to not get pushed. And also he has a wide AoE smash attacks. That one really hurts in veteran as well, depending on your level and build, of course. A mage can just range him, or you can even use poison spray to kill him from behind one of the pillars, which is kind of funny. You want to stay on melee. Don't get hit, but if you go too far, he starts to cast magic, and that... Okay, it's time for Act 2. There are 2 entrances. Don't go to the top one, go to the bottom one that I'm showing you, because the top one is much harder. You will face eyes and other nasty creeps that it's really not worth doing. Unless you like pain, in that case, like, who am I to judge you, Mr. Masochist? is the Red Death unlock. I'm showing you only small bits of the quest, so there is no spoiler in this section. Just gonna show you the boss when I kill it later, but that one is not like, it doesn't talk to you, like it's like a big hunk of meat. Once you go in the Red Death Fortress, be careful because there are many mobs and they can overwhelm you, so kite them, move around, don't go in the middle. Oh, pasta, I went into 10 dudes and they opened every one of my, you know, what? Yeah. Now here you can find a duelist blade. Once you're in the Red Dead Fortress, talk to the small ball totem. He will give you a choice to pay 10 health for 2 points. Do it, it's incredibly important, and we don't really care about the extra HP because, well, those were bonuses point that we got with the Mehir statuette or whatever. Now I assume that you're going to do this in veteran, so if you're playing in lower difficulty, this one is gonna be easier. If this guy touches you, you're dead, okay? Good, amazing. However, he has one of the easiest pattern of abilities in this game. Go too far, he will cast a single projectile, easy to dodge. You can get a little bit tripped when he does his 3 combo swing. So what you want to do is dash in, go close, dash in, go close. And of course, if you are low level and you're trying to do this like me when it's not intended for you to do this at level 14 or 15, I don't remember when I did this, use the King's Soul and take the King's Soul perk that allow you to make enemy drop small orbs that refill your bowl. So overall, it's not a hard fight, just might take a couple of tries. Just don't get hit, easy. Now, once you're in the city, you need to do 2 things that are super important if you have the gold, and you should have the gold. Buy a sneak relic from Bonksy and another bonus point from her. And then go to Filth down the city in the small hall. And then you want to buy 2 things from Filth. Only one if you feel like you're a Chad and you don't want to cheese things. Because there is an item that you will use to cheese the first mini-boss of Sarras, the Dead Mark. Or just buy the bonus attribute points. Up to you, I will not force you to do anything. Okay, it's time for Sarras. There are 2 ways to do these things. This enemy is the same as Galahad, have the same move pattern. So it means that it's gonna be annoying. Plus, he's scaled to you. So he's not gonna be as weak as Galahad. But don't worry, you are stronger now because you have Red Death locked. And possibly you already finished Act 2. I don't know when you want to go to Sarras. Like, choose my man. Choose. Otherwise, you can kill him. This is gonna be a little harder fight, but it's completely doable as I'm showing you right now. And I'm not super high level, and I didn't upgrade anything, and I still have trash from the tutorial on, and the guy will still die. Of course, pop potion, use the magic Arthur's King Privilege or whatever is the name, and just kill him, easy.
That's all you've got. You made a big mistake. I'm not beaten yet. Is that supposed to hurt? Is that supposed to hurt? That's all you've got? Ha! That's all you've got? You made a big mistake! We may be in for a fight! You are nothing but a peasant! Don't let your guard down.
I will be your downfall. Your armor won't save you. I've had worse. 'Tis just a flesh wound.
As I go, thank my Lord. Really? What a...
Help! Thank Oh, you're fine. You won't get
so that he, if you and the chip with that, sir, all there, Edgar. I'm pleased you're with us, hatchling. This is from now on. If you now.
All right, so
And okay, that's all. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, even consider subscribe for more gaming content of very questionable quality, just as usual. It's either gonna be amazing or most likely completely boring and horrible. If you have any question or doubt, let me know in the comments below. Have fun playing Tainted Grail, and I will see you in the next video.